And welcome to the Straight Bat, proudly brought to you by the Aqaba Hotel. A bit of a change in the lineup tonight. I'll introduce my partners in crime. First, we've got Mr. Straight Bat himself, David Hazer, back from a bit of a hiatus. How are you, David?
I'm going well. No injuries tonight. Fit and firing, and we've got rid of Wazza. So
we have. He's serving a 1 week suspension, which we'll talk to you about in a minute. But we got Travis Wordworth, captain of Para Hills. Great to have you here, Travis. How you going?
Oh, very well, mate. Thanks for having me back. It's obviously the people's vote came in and Wazza's out, and I'm in, so I'm pretty happy with
Ratings have been a little bit down, so we look to make a change, didn't we, David? We'll see how we
go.
go.
There's some small boots to fill, aren't they?
Exactly right. So looking forward to a bit of input from a current player, so it's going to be great. And obviously brought to you by the Aqaba Hotel, but we do have some apologies, David, and look, I know you've suspended Woz for 1 week, mainly because of his behaviour at the Test match. So what can you tell us? What were some of the complaints that came in?
One of the complaints is he's constantly tapping of the pen on the desk and clicking of the pen. That's a no-no, and as our producer Grant would say, don't do that.
Yep.
It's not easy, but it can easily happen because I did it myself, but he's suspended for that as well.
And also, Travis, you didn't bum into him at the Test match, did you?
No, fortunately enough, I was ready to go Saturday, Sunday, but obviously didn't quite make that.
Yeah,
that time,
fair enough.
So thankfully didn't actually have anything to do with it.
I think he did a bit of damage in the 2.5 days he was there. So a week off is probably not going to hurt him, is it, David?
No, it's not at all.
But you'll be the selector for next week, so we'll see if you let him back into the 11 or not.
Yep.
But we're going to kick off with our EO Corner, proudly brought to you by a Platin Print Group. So we've got a couple of questions for you, David, and obviously we're talking a little bit about the Test match. So it's always comes up every year, playing on the Test match weekend now. This weekend, it didn't actually make it to the Saturday, so it's probably caused you a bit more consternation with some complaints, but it's always an issue that caused a lot of debate. What can you tell us?
Yes, it was a tricky one, guys. When we made this, the fixtures, the Test match was originally planned for a Thursday start. We always knew 3 days will be an issue. If we actually knew it was Wednesday start, we may have changed it. AT said, well, I was meant to look like a fool with no cricket played at all at Adelaide Oval. But it's a tough ask, but the clubs have been asked on many occasions.
Yep.
And I think it's like 67% say they don't want to play. And some of the big clubs are saying that as well.
Yep.
So next two series will be a test. Depends when they start, I reckon, because I think we're playing India next year and England. Yeah.
So it's a couple of big ones.
Yeah, reading those comments, you might have to put another survey out there, Dave.
Mate, I'm preparing one. Adelaide Turf is starting a new admin assistant on the 16th of February.
Same wage as you?
No, definitely not.
Was applied that we couldn't afford it, so
correct.
To downgrade a little bit.
So that will be one of his tasks to do another survey.
Fair enough. Is it too simplistic to say members want to play and non-members don't want to play?
Yeah, the older brigade. When I got the clubs, Travis, as you know, the older brigade. Why aren't we playing Test matches again? The players generally don't want to play.
More so those who have got a member's ticket or not?
Yeah, more so.
Yeah.
But no, well, for years we said it was college clubs that didn't want to play, but 67% is a fair few clubs that so we don't want to play.
What's the view of yourself and your club, you reckon, Trav?
I think we're happy to play. I think maybe your top grade for sure. It's definitely an A1, but the lower we find is obviously some people do want to go, but most of the Para Hills don't have members tickets, so we don't get seen there, to be honest. So
it was a bit tricky this year as well because it was a long weekend, wasn't it? Yes. So there would have been people away and stuff perhaps, so it would have been an interesting one. But the next 2 years with India and the Ashes, so will there definitely be no play on those?
If a test match starts on a Thursday, we won't be playing.
Okay. So
Yep.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, so and then coming up to finals, what are the qualifications that players need to adhere to?
Yeah, this is a very complicated bylaw, Travis. Try and simplify it a bit. Basically, you got two competitions: the yellow competition and the 2-day competition. You need to play at least 3 games in the 2-day comp and 5 games in the yellow comp, or 25% of the games played. So if you have a forfeit, a game that's abandoned, that doesn't count as a game, even though you're selected in the team. If you don't play, it doesn't count as a game. That's the simplest form of explaining it, but there's other complications as well. It is, if there's a game that day one got washed out and you played on day two, that's still considered a 2-day game. If you have a 1-day game scheduled in the 2-day competition, that still counts as 2 weeks. 2 LO games equals 1 2-day game. So you might have played 3 games in the 2-day competition. 1 is a 1-day game. That's counted as 6 weeks. You have to play at least 6 weeks in the LO comp to qualify for both competitions.
I suppose hearing that live, David, I found that very easy to understand.
It is not. There's about half a dozen clauses, Travis. Depends on the number of games you played and whether you have played enough to qualify both competitions. If you have, then no issues. But if you have and one team actually loses, if you have 2 consecutive teams playing, and one of the grades loses, you may not be able to come down. When we talk about consecutive teams, if you have an A grade and a B grade playing, anyone can play anywhere. Then it becomes a qualification issue in the grand final if one of the teams loses. So there's a few clauses, and as much as I know the bylaws, I need to read this 2 or 3 times every year.
If not Rengadi, I suppose.
Yes, correct. But Gady's older than me, so his memory is going as well.
Absolutely, it is.
And a couple of years ago, there was a blanket rule for no permits. Is that still the case? There's a flat-out rule of no permits?
Yes. Permits has been an issue for many a year. You sometimes clubs actually con you into getting a permit.
Everyone's got a story.
Everyone's got a very good story to tell.
Yeah.
And it affects the game. One year, a gentleman dominated one of the lower grades of the LO comp, and they sort of conned me into the permit, basically. So this is our 3rd year now without permits. First year we had a few issues. Second year wasn't bad at all, although one grade did forfeit. They only had 9 players qualified. I told them they could still play with 9, but they chose not to, which is disappointing in a way. But had some queries this year on qualifications. So I think clubs are now aware there's no permits. It's just too hard to determine a permit because everyone's got a good story to tell of who's available. And there's normally someone that comes in that, reasonable player from a lower grade.
Do Rechabites get any favouritism, or is it they don't because they don't play finals?
Well, yeah, okay, good question. That's a damn good question. Rechabites hasn't played finals for quite a few years. But no, they get treated as hard as anyone else, if not harder, guys.
I guess from a captaincy point of view, at least it's black and white, so you know where it stands, and it's
you got to make, I suppose.
You got to make the effort to get enough players qualified.
Yeah, and that's the issue. It's not the association's job to qualify to have clubs qualify enough players. There's general rules, so you can, if you've got an A grade player playing and someone gets injured, and you got the B grade player, they can come up. There's no issue coming up. It's always coming down and playing enough games to qualify. I'll just carry on by to complicate the permit system even more. Is a 25% rule. That 25% of the games played. If you got washouts and heat outs and whatever. If 25% means, say, you only play 14 games, 25% is 3.5. Got that right? Yeah, 3.5. It is 4 games to qualify. It's not 3, it's
Round
4.
it up. Hey?
Round it up.
Yep, okay.
Probably catch out a few people.
Could do, yep. Oh, it sounds all fairly straightforward, but I'm sure you're going to get a million queries in the next few weeks. So good luck with that.
Already started.
But that is our EO Corner for this week, proudly brought to you by Platinum Print Group. We'll take a quick break on Straight Bat and come back and go through last week's results.
Do you know what a great package looks like? Now that's a beautiful package. But how do you go from this to this? Well, if you don't know your DLs from your A1s, 2s, 3s and 4s, you're just like most other print professionals. So we'll help you understand before you order. We wish that package size didn't matter, but when it comes to printing, you need to know the size of your sheet. Once you've got your sheet straight, we can get to printing. So, talk with Platin, because other printers don't know sheet.
And welcome back to Straight Bat. We're going to go straight into the round 8 results from the Kookaburra Sports A1 Premier Grade and kick it off with Para Hills' great win over Paraka, the top of the table clash. Para Hills 184, Caton 45, Rolling 4 for 19, too good for Raka. Matt Herman 4 for 41 and 47, Cooper Thompson 4 for 34. So great win for you boys, and I think you can thank us for that one because every guest we've had in has lost the next week. That's not good for you for next week, but Jamie Jarrett was in before Christmas and we mozzed them. So
I did notice the tips last week. There was only one person that tipped us, so I do thank Mr. EO over there.
I think we were all scared off by JJ's biceps actually.
Absolutely.
But you must have been really happy with that.
The boys are going well. They continually rock up each week and surprise me even more. Yeah. So the drive they have was great.
Wasn't one of your highest scores, but obviously defended it pretty well against the regional batting lineup.
It was actually quite a slow outfield, so that those scores actually don't really reflect the actual game. They're probably more 210 to 170 scores. So if you're not there, you don't get to see that, I suppose.
Excellent. So sitting on top of the ladder, must be happy with that at the minute. 120 points with Grange 8 back in 112. So sitting pretty at the moment.
They're still clear favourites, Grange.
We'll talk to our next guest about that shortly. But Ingle Farm had a good win against Flinders Park, 202, Pitt 62, Q Connets 41. Flinders Park only replied with 124, McDowell 4 for 51. So Ingle Farm sitting in 6, but dangerous side.
Yeah, obviously Mason Pitt back into their ones and playing 2s all year. So first game back up and 62 is a fair effort. And Hot Dogs Hannigan with Pfeiffer.
Great effort there. So that was a big win there. Goodwood marched into 4th place last year's premiers, so you got your eye on them, no doubt. 223 and 2 for 121, too good for Marion 137, Hutchinson 81, Kimber 4 for 24, Smith 4 for 30, and Wiz Stambra 3 for 21.
Looking at that side, they're looming large. Bit of trouble on the weekend and get out of it. So I think Dry Field opened the bat for 32 off about 170 odd balls. So obviously consolidated and they're a good team.
Any talk about a score to settle from last year's grand final?
Or
no. Keeping a lid on it.
I think we got lucky. Obviously the game before Christmas, but they got the medal, mate.
Watch this space. Grange 249. Chad Sayers will be with us very shortly. 51 and 5 for 32. Brother Aaron 46. And Clark 6 for 33 in the second inning. So that Trinity did avoid the outright 96 and 7 for 64, but Grange very solid.
Yeah, I don't reckon Clark even bowled in the first innings. That's how well they're going. So,
and I don't think Chad bowled in the second innings.
No, they obviously they share it round obviously, but quite easily $5 favourites. I would have thought. So
it'll be an interesting game in 2 weeks' time. You versus them. I think it's at Para Hills.
At Para Hills finally. We haven't played them there until from the semi-final a couple of years ago. Normally play down there. So it'll be interesting to see him come up to our neck of the woods.
Blockbuster, David. We'll get the straight back cameras down there for that one, I think. Could be a few fireworks. Hope Valley, good win. 5 for 165. Polyac, 55. Too good for Woodville South. 122. Vinci, 41. So Hope Valley still around the mark in 5th spot.
They're a team that can cause some damage come finals time. They're not easy beats by all means. So they're a team that just flies under the radar and just gets the job done most weeks.
And the final game was Old Scotch, 3 for 192, O'Reilly 84, Winter Irving 46, but Port District's had to run that down, 9 for 199, Nimsara 74. So
about that? One day game obviously because they the rain off or whatever it was the week before at Scotch. Winter Irving, tell you what, medal winner right there.
Okay,
if they can win enough games, he's a clear standout for mine.
You're surprised they're sitting 10th place, so they're languishing a little bit.
I was talking to him when we played him. Obviously had a few guys pull out early on the season, or should I say right up to the start of the season, which obviously hurt them. We're not being to be able to recruit. And but I think that they can stay up. They might be a force come next year if he's still around.
Fantastic. So that was A1 Premier Grade. Kick into the Sports Centre A2 grade, round 8. Golden Grove 230, Holiday 62, Anderson 54, too good for Walkerville 194, Wilson 83. So I think Walkerville were cruising there about 4 for 150 and a bit of a late collapse.
There you go. We actually played the T20 out at Golden Grove on the Tuesday, and looking at these scores, I wouldn't have thought that would even be possible.
Yep.
So obviously the curator did a bit more work into that one.
Fair enough. Disgraceful performance in the next game. Woodville Recabites rolled for 48, Potter 4 for 24, Jack Jackson 3 for 37, Brighton 232, Radeep Singh 72, and then rolled again for 177.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't say that, but Brighton actually declared 0 for 0 there, and Recabites went down by 7 runs. So I'm not sure if Dave might have threatened Brighton at all, or if Joshy Rosenthal was talked him up, but to lose by 7 runs, I mean, nothing to lose for Brighton, so might as well go for it.
Yeah.
And, get the chocolates. I'm sure that's putting him to almost A1 contention now.
And the word is David's going to be taking training Thursday night after that first innings performance.
Must be another loss coming then.
Strong performance by PAOC, 5 for 199, Marshall 53, Chapman 55, 2 strong for Jep, 7 for 176, McKim 3 for 30. So PAC on target to come back up.
Yep, and I'm not sure if you noticed at the top of the order there on the weekend, Bomber Brinsley back.
Yep.
Is that a thing that's for good? We're not sure, but whether it was just because of the one dayer,
maybe
time will tell.
It's a strong batting lineup. Marshall, Brinsley, and Sammy Tyler popped in for a couple of games. So whether he'll play finals
guest appearance
as well,
maybe
we'll wait and see. But they're a dangerous side. Lions 205 at Laksheetha 6 for 31 and 55 batting number at number 11. Too good friendly 9 for 126. Big win.
I wasn't sure if that's why didn't rock up because I think they only had a 9 down with about 4 or 5 runs to get.
Yep.
So then lose by 80 odd runs. I think, not quite good enough for Munley to let that one slip, I think.
Yeah, it was. Would have been tearing strips off the bar Saturday night for sure. Spock 7 for 147, George 48, 2 strong for Rocks, 8 for 144, Rusty Thomas 3 for 19. So good win for Spock there.
Yeah, we play him on tomorrow night actually in the T20. So good to see Sam Roberts still going around. He obviously gets it down quite nicely, but quite a if they can get their full team on the park, I think Spock are a very good team. But whether that happens over the next few years, I've heard there's a bit of unrest at the school. So I wonder if there's to be around for much longer. We're not too sure, I suppose.
Might have to delve into that a bit more.
Yes.
Are you playing at Spock or at home?
No, at Spock.
Okay, beautiful facilities.
Yeah, it should be nice. Should be nice.
And Goodwood racked up a massive score, 321, Cross 139, and Potts still making runs, 67. Too good Frenella, 194. Gab, former guest on straight bat, 77. So big win for Goodwood.
Yeah, and you look down Goodwood's list, you got Daniel Payne, who's 800s in A1 playing A2. It just shows the strength of Goodwood. But Renella, very nice track to bat on once you get in. So obviously the Goodwood boys did that and made full total.
Potts, he's racked up his 10,000 run long ago. Still going pretty
unbelievable,
well.
Isn't he?
Yeah. So that was Sports Centre A2, and we'll just kick into the women's grade round 12. Renella 5 for 75, Joe Cook 34, too good for Brighton 4 for 73, Landrigan 32. Your girls had a good win. Para Hills 2 for 116, Paynham 2 for 115. So quite a high scoring game. Clapton only 22 this week. What's going on?
I think they give someone else the bat at the top of the order. I did see they obviously chased it down the 19th over, I reckon. So, and I think she got those 22 off about 8 balls. So just got them across the line. I know next show she obviously doesn't bat number 3 anymore. So when the going gets tough, she will open up. And I do believe that she's missing next game or the game after. So it'll be interesting how the girls go without her there.
Definitely. But if you're the king down at Parry Hill, she's definitely the queen, isn't she?
She's on my toes, isn't she?
Definitely. And Torrens 3 for 91, Gristady 22 not out, too good for Sturt, 7 for 56. So good performance there by Torrens.
Absolutely. I think they're both very young sides, so it's good the development coming in those teams, I think.
And is there much, I guess, a crossover between the women's and men's sides? You do any training together?
We used to. I think the girls kind of got a bit scared off by us men, and a bit of the language that happens at training, as well and know. No, we don't see a whole lot of them, to be honest. I do need to get out on a Sunday a bit more often, but generally, Sunday's a bit slow for me these days, so don't quite get out of bed.
Recovery time, but. No, Parry Hill's going really well in the A grade, so definitely the team to beat there. That's our results for round 8. We're going to take a quick break on Straight Back and come back with our special guest, former first class and Test cricketer Chad Sayers.
Showing my true colours on the field is being ultra competitive, going out on the field and having as much fun as possible.
My true colours, extremely competitive, love to win.
How I feel like I show my true colours is to just be myself. It's a smile on my face and making sure that everybody's having a good time.
Welcome back to Straight Bat, proudly brought to you by the Arkabar Hotel. And we've got our special guest, former first-class player with the Redbacks, Test cricketer, and now playing for Grange in the Adelaide Turf, Chad Sayers. Great to have you here, Chad. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, boys. Pleasure.
Great to have you on board. And we might just start at the very beginning. Tell us a little bit about how you first, got into cricket and sport in general.
Yeah, well, cricket's always been throughout my family. My old man played state cricket for South Australia as well, only a handful of games. But, so cricket's always been in the blood, and obviously have a brother as well who plays for Grange now. So, as you all know, when you love cricket, you just play at home all the time. So that's how I got into cricket.
Yep.
Early on at Woodville, played as a bat. Is that stress fractures, injuries? What
probably about under 17 level. Went through a couple of years of stress fractures in the back, which obviously you can't really bowl with those. So it just enticed me to get better at my batting and put a fair bit of work into that. So that obviously helped throughout my career.
Yeah, for sure.
In 06-07, you obviously had a dominant year locally, 55 wickets, 1 vote shy of a Bradman medal. Fantastic year, but they still made you wait for a while to break into the Shield side. What was going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. You have to ask the selectors that. But it obviously did pretty well throughout my young days at Woodville and in the A grade, and took a truckload of wickets. But I guess that really formed me into the player I was. And I didn't get selection go my way back then. But as I said, I was only young. So if I got thrown in the deep end at that stage, I might have got spat straight back out. So although it was disappointing, but probably put me in better stead moving forward.
Fair enough.
And obviously played a lot of cricket with your brother and your dad as coach. Is that why you got a game?
Maybe at first.
But no, you obviously get on well with them, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been great to be able to, as you say, play a fair bit of cricket with Aaron and have some success at Woodville. We won 3 flags together, and just won recently at Grange. So, that was great to be able to experience that with the old man being coach, and a couple of them as well, when Woodville probably hadn't been as good as the other sides in the past 30-odd years. So to break that drought with those, with my family was, outstanding.
I must say I'm quite fortunate enough to do the same, and it's no better feeling than walking out on a Saturday with one of your best mates. So
fantastic. You played obviously district cricket when it was very, very strong. Who were some of the better players you, played against and with at that time?
Some of the better players I played with, we had a bloke called Ken Skews play for Woodville. Just when the big games came about, he was always putting a hand up, and he won us 2 grand finals off his own back. So probably a bit of a waste of talent there, not playing enough first class or state cricket. But you get to play against all the state cricketers. I guess James Smith was probably one for West Torrens, who was always good. I got the experience playing against the likes of Dean Waugh. That probably hardened you up a fair bit as a youngster as well. So I can't really remember the names off the top of my head, but playing against the older players really makes you harden up as a cricketer, and really gets the experience into you, especially talking to them after the games.
Yep, for sure.
The late Shane Warne, obviously, rest in peace, but one of your biggest critics for bowling too slow in Shield cricket and Test cricket. What did he have against you?
I don't know, but when you mentioned his name, I knew where you were going there. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't really think he actually watched any of my Shield cricket leading up to that Test match. So he had a little shot at me not bowling quick enough, but all you can say is the stats don't lie.
Exactly.
I don't know why he had a crack at me and picked me to have a crack at in your first test playing for the same country that he played for. But they just said he was one of the greats of the game, so you can have his opinion and think what he wants.
Obviously, you did rely on swing and control mostly. Was there a particular bowler that you modelled yourself on, or?
I really liked watching Glenn McGrath. Bit different bowlers, but we all know the success he had just from bowling line and length. He was probably a bit quicker than me and a bit taller, but he just continuously challenged the batsman's defence. also enjoyed Ryan Harris. Got to play against him and spend a little bit of time as a rookie at the Redbacks with him. So, enjoyed the way he went about it when he got his crack at international level.
Yep, fantastic.
And obviously got some stats in front of me here. 320 wickets, 16 5-wicket hauls. You must be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I guess something that you look back on now I've retired and see the achievement. I wasn't supposed to play one Shield game. So, to be able to take 320 first-class wickets, obviously debut for Australia. And I guess the Fifers, I just knew that when I was on, you had to be on because in cricket, you know yourself that you can have some rough patches as well where luck doesn't go your way. So, when I knew I was on with the ball, I made the most of it.
So we spoke about you having to wait for selection at Shield level. You're dominant at Shield level, but you're on the verge of being selected for Australia so many times, on tours, on the verge. I mean, was that frustrating?
That's probably one of the most asked questions I get, I guess, because I was 12th man for Australia for a fair bit. But my answer always to that is I'd rather be on tour than back playing state cricket. So I enjoyed my time with Australia. I got to experience international cricket for what it was, got to see how the blokes who perform at that level prepare, how they go about it, and spend some time with some very good cricketers and train with very good cricketers. And you can either get frustrated at not getting picked and lose your game, or you can really be motivated and try and get better every day to achieve what you want.
I do have a hot tip here, Chad, and I'm going to ask the question. Playing home, you get a phone call from Steve Waugh saying, Chad, you're playing a home test match. Moments before the game, Steve Smith said, I want him, you're out. Do you have grudges against him for that?
True story?
It's kind of a true story, a little bit different. I got a text message after the main session that we had in Adelaide. It was a day night, so it was a night session. Got back to my hotel room, had a shower, and came back to my phone and had a text message from Steve Waugh saying, welcome to the Baggy Green Club. And I obviously hadn't heard anything, so it was a shock to me. And I was like, oh, bloody hell. I rang my missus and said, I got this message from Steve Waugh, Australian legend. How cool is that? I think I'm playing this test match. Then my head goes, oh, how many tickets am I going to need? Who's going to come? Am I giving them to? So I was getting pretty excited, but I didn't want to tell too many people because I hadn't had the phone call to say you were playing. So I just wrote back and said, thanks, mate, can't look forward to it. But the next day, the batters go top up session, and I just had a lazy day. I went and had lunch with my family. And probably half an hour before it was announced, I got a phone call from Trevor Holmes saying I wasn't in. So, it was pretty disappointing.
And then played him not long after that and got him out of here and gave him a bit of a send off.
I
do like that.
Just said, my name's Chad Sayers.
2018 in South Africa, obviously you did get to make your debut. That must have been a dream come true when it did happen.
Yeah, it was obviously
There's a bit going on, but
a bit of dire straits for the Australian cricket side. So, but any time you get a tap on the shoulder, telling you that you're going to debut for Australia, and I mean, the mood changed pretty quickly, and there's a bit of a different lead up to that test match. Obviously, we didn't really train much. There's a bit going on, so we trained late afternoon the day before the test match, which you never do. And I found out just before dinner time, really. So I didn't have much time to process it, which was probably a good thing. But I had my missus over there, wife now, 2 days before. She said, do I stay? And I said, no, I'm no chance of playing. So she was pretty pissed off at me,
and then finally get out there, and obviously 2 weeks in and over, including AB. So I'm sure, I'm sure he put that down in his list as a never forget moment.
I made him retire. That was his last test match. So I think he thought if I'm getting out to that bloke, then I better hang him up. But no, proud moment to get that first wicket. Sure. I thought I bowled pretty well throughout the day one. Troubled him most of the day, and second new ball was lucky enough to nip one back. Got the inside edge. He went up straight for the review though, which put
you never know.
I was like, not again, because I had a review going the other way throughout the game. So I was like, nah, come on. And then the spike came up in the review, and I was pretty happy to get him one of the world's best batters as your first wicket. So,
what was the mood of the group like when you came into the side? Because obviously a fair bit had happened just before that. What was the mood around the group like?
Nah, it was obviously a disappointing game in Cape Town for Australia, for everyone involved, and obviously for the three that got the punishment. So it was quite a down mood, and everyone was feeling for those blokes who got sent home and got pretty much put up like murderers, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
For a cricket game. But once a few new players came in, Tim Payne got announced new Australian captain. So I guess everyone was mood had changed and looked forward to hopefully turning that respect back towards us. And then anytime you get a debutant in your side is a fresh breath of fresh air. So turn the focus to the game, and unfortunately we didn't play very well in that test match and got done pretty convincingly.
Is it when Tim took over, did they go a new direction and wanted to get new players in? Is that why nothing eventuated from you playing another test?
No, I don't think so. I think the next tour was in Dubai, so we all know what the wickets are like
Glad you
over
missed
there.
that one.
It's not really conducive for swing or any seam movement. So unfortunately for me, that was one test, and the next tour didn't suit my bowling, so I was out. And just from there, there's three pretty good quicks playing for Australia for the last 10 years, isn't there? So it's always going to be hard to break in and stay in.
Yeah. No.
And then obviously you retired from first class cricket. What enticed you to, I guess, join the ATCA and play some cricket with Grange?
Yeah, I actually went back and played 2 years at Woodville. So got to finish my career where it all started, I guess, and that's what I really wanted to do. And that was a great send-off last season. But, just obviously there's a bit of family history at Grange as well. My old man played a fair bit of cricket there. And Aaron's been there for a couple of years now and really enjoyed it. It's a great family club. And what a better way to, I guess, really sign off by playing with Aaron again. And I was lucky enough last year to win a 2020 premiership with him. But now we look for a 2-day premiership, and we're going pretty well at the moment.
Might have a few battles with the blokes you left in the finals.
A couple of weeks we face each other. So
we'll come to
look forward to that.
Yeah.
Make sure you lock your car, mate, when you come up there, or end up on stilts otherwise. What have we got here? How have you found the club and I suppose the standard of cricket in ACCA?
Yeah, as I mentioned, the club's been great. Great for me, very welcoming, great family club. So Steph and the kids come down and they look after them very well. So we've really enjoyed, I guess, the first half of the year. I think the standard's pretty good. Yeah. I think, obviously it falls off a bit maybe after the first top 4 batters, but there's some strong sides out there. We had a good batter with Goodwood, although it got washed out. Paraka is pretty strong, so especially playing out there.
Eye-opening, was it?
Yeah. But I think...
Especially after tea.
Yeah.
I think I found bowling probably harder in this competition because of the wickets.
Yeah.
Obviously don't train as much, not as fit anymore as well. And so in that sense, it's been challenging for me, which is great.
Yeah. And I guess having played at the highest level, do you enjoy working with younger cricketers out at Grange, and is coaching something you'd look at getting into down the track?
Yeah, it's always great to have younger blokes in your side. It keeps you fresh and young yourself. So always wanting to help the new generation come through at any level. When I've done a little bit of coaching now, I was just involved in the tour game with the West Indies with the Cricket Australia side. So definitely something on my radar in the future. Probably a little bit fresh out of the game to be coaching in the Redbacks system at the moment, I think, just having played with those types of blokes already. But definitely like talking about the game, talking about tactics. And as you said, teaching the young kids how to play cricket.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and obviously sitting third at the moment with a 4-1 record, confident should make finals?
I think we're pretty confident we'll make the finals. I think we've got Flinders Park this week who've been battling a little bit. So I would think we'd get over the line there, and that'll put us in some good stead come finals time. I don't think we've probably played our best cricket yet. No. So if we can just get the bad stuff out of the way before finals, I think we should go okay.
How is the wicket at Grange? I know it got redone last year. Is it helping you out?
Only the popping creases got done, so the actual centre of the wicket.
Right, there you go.
But no, we've got a new curator down there now in Paul Barrett, who's putting a lot of time and work into the wickets. So it's been good. The outfield needs to be cut a little bit shorter.
It'd be nice everywhere across the board, I think.
So we had a good bowling performance on the weekend where the ball swung and seamed a little bit, so it was great.
So you took 5 and Clark took 6 in the second innings. So you didn't bowl in the second innings. So
just battling a little bit of a sore heel.
Okay, fair enough.
Keep bowling then.
Went on ice. And, let Clarkie take over. as we know how good a bowler he is. He took a truckload of wickets last year, and they just called him after Christmas as specialist.
I think that wicket definitely suits his bowling back of a length. And
I think our bowling group's probably the key at the moment for us. We've got Michael McDonald in from Port Adelaide this year, who's a left-arm ortho, and we all know how valuable they are in cricket, especially this cricket, I think, with the wickets, how they are. So he's been a great pick-up for Grange, and hopefully he's got a few more wickets in him.
He wasn't doing enough?
Nah, we'll get him down in the twos, mate. I heard you. I did hear that you like facing him, so he's definitely not playing against you.
Fair enough.
Is there any young players that have impressed you so far in your time down at Grange?
We're not really that young of a side, but I like the look of a kid called Thomas Barrage. He didn't really focus on playing A-grade the last couple of years, and he's come in, he's opening the batting, he's done a reasonable job. He's got some good skills, and he's a jet in the field. So, he's a good kid, and hopefully he can get some runs coming up.
You like Glenn McGrath, who likes to put the target on one batsman's head. Are you going to put a target on Travis's head when you play Para Hills?
Yeah, why not?
There we go. He's named it on the podcast.
I'll look forward to the challenge. Outside of cricket, hobbies?
Love me footy. Love a bit of horse racing. But doing some jip rocking and pastoring at the moment. So back in the real world. So enjoying that. Something different every day. So doing that with Jamie Rothwell, actually, old coach of Woodville. He's coach of Woodville now and old coach of Grange. So got a few cricket
building. Is it still building or whatever it is?
Nah, he's out of that. He's by himself now. Right. So we just work our own hours, which is nice. And we've got a couple of young kids from Woodville working for us as well. So.
You've had a couple of good racehorses across the journey. I've heard a couple that we've won quite a few.
Nah, I don't know. You hear that info from? I had a couple of country mud plotters, but there was one called Swing It Like.
That's right.
He won a few races. Unfortunately, broke its leg and had to get put down, which was a sad day. But it's good fun. I don't own any anymore, but
named after Aaron, was it?
Yeah, that's right. He does swing them these days, you reckon? So.
Fantastic. Well, Chad, we might rip into the mad minute now. So we've got a few quick fires that we're going to fire at you and see what you got for us. Best player you've bowled to?
Can I name three?
Yep.
AB de Villiers, Ricky Ponting, Mike Wassey.
Yeah, not bad.
Biggest influence on your career?
Me old man and Darren Berry.
Yep. Best teammate at the Redbacks?
Tom Cooper.
Yep.
Biggest cricketing achievement?
Playing for Australia.
Yeah, fair enough. What about
should say playing for Grange?
Yeah, the 2020.
Your favourite cricketer?
I'll go with Glenn McGrath.
Yeah.
Yep. Favourite sportsman?
Shane Crawford.
Crows or Power? It could be Hawthorn maybe. I don't know. Crows or Power? Who do you support?
Power.
Power, yeah.
Power, man.
Drink of choice, water?
Great Northern.
Yeah.
Who's the best patron at the bar at Grange at the moment?
There's a few. We'll go Ryan Fry.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Big fella.
Favourite commentator?
Jared Wheatley. SEN.
Okay. Best thing about ATCA cricket?
Starting at 1 p.m.
Yep. Very good.
Second innings.
Chad, fantastic to have a chat to you. Thanks very much for coming into the straight back. Good luck for the rest of the season and in the finals. And we'll be following you the finals and the battle against Para Hills with great interest.
Looking forward to it. And thanks for having me, boys.
No thanks. Worries, and we've got a voucher here for you. Sporties at the Arca Bar, $50 voucher to go down and have beautiful. A meal, maybe with the old man. So great sponsor, the Straight Bat. So thanks again for coming in. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
Straight Bat will be back after this break.
Basically for me, I'm pretty lucky in the sense that it comes natural to hold it the way that I do, but pretty much you want the ball coming out with the seam being presented so that there's as much room in the air to move as there is off the pitch. For me, it's hard to look at unless you have a slow-mo camera, but I want my wrist to be in this position so that when the ball comes out, it comes out presenting for an in-swinger.
Welcome back to Straight Bat, proudly brought to you by the Arca Bar Hotel. I'm going to whip into our two next segments. We've got Six and Out, proudly brought to you by ISC Sportswear. So the winner will get $1,000 worth of merchandise for your club. So fantastic prize there. And we have got a couple of clips. We're going to play the first one now, which involves your good self, Travis. So the footage will come up now, and we'll talk through that.
Oh, catch.
So a tumbling catch by yourself. It's been described as in the manner of John Dyson off the bowling of Mason Rickard. What can you tell us about that catch?
Well, it was late in the day, so obviously the big fella not moving too well after in a one-day game, but made some yards early and obviously settled under it nicely and luckily to hang on to it. Although Mace is getting close to the bowling, so I did chuck one down on the weekend from him. So I should have done the same.
You're under bowling him now, so he doesn't win the bowling trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. His shoes are getting too big for himself. So no, he's going well, Mace.
How many ahead of him are you at the moment?
I think
he
two.
Picked up a couple on the weekend.
Yeah, I think two.
So,
I missed out on the weekend, so he's definitely catching. He lets me know every week too.
Okay, now a good bit of footage down there. So whatever you've got, send it in to straightbat1932@gmail.com. But we did also get a couple of bit of feedback on the email. So first question to you was, how many records do you currently hold at Para Hills? Do you know?
Oh, maybe 3.
Okay.
I reckon.
Yep. Run scoring or
high score.
Yep.
I'd say the most A grade association medals.
Yep.
And what would the third one be? It's definitely. I think I suppose I'm probably the only person to win a batting, bowling, and a keeping award in association level, I suppose.
Oh, fair enough. Yep. And the other thing that came in was you had a gala night at Para Hills recently, and somehow you were named 12th man in the greatest team of the last 60 years. Now, what is going on there?
I think it must be a misprint or something. But if you go, we've got this shirt made up with a frame. If you go through the list, all of a sudden you get to the bottom corner, and then there's T. Wordsworth down there. So I think something's got to change. They said it's alphabetical order.
Oh, okay.
But I seem to think they've put it as 12th man and then revert back to alphabetical order. But no, it was very, very big honour to be named in the best 60.
And who were the selectors?
It wasn't me.
Okay.
We had 5 of them. So there was a couple of old players from the really early years, and then probably guys of Kim Hartog, Peter Box, and Dom McRae.
Some of the stalwarts. Fantastic. Oh, well, that's a great achievement to be named 12th man in that side, I must say. So congratulations on that.
Mate. Thank you.
And we've got some other footage from an Unley game. I believe Woz was playing in this game, but it doesn't actually feature Woz. So we'll go to the vision now.
Nice.
And that was actually from the Unley LO7s from the weekend. Can you believe that? A batsman on 98 and missed stumping. I think that was the second stumping chance missed throughout the innings. So
yeah, definitely not was then. He was in 98, that's for sure.
But, I don't know. Andy Wyman, I think it was his 12th century, and I think he might have bought a Powerball ticket as well. I'm not sure if he's victorious, but if he did, he should be sending something to Jeps Cross keeper, because that was, let's just say, not his best bit of work.
No, he obviously come up with the ball there, and he obviously need to stay down.
Yep. So, thank you for those Para Hills and Unley for sending in that footage. And if you've got anything else, send it into straightbat1932@gmail.com. Now we're going to switch into Willow Talk, proudly brought to you by the Bat Doctor, Matt McCleary. And we have got a couple of entries. I'm not sure if David vetted these or not, but what can you tell us about these?
I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm taking Waz's spot, and he's just emailed in a few things to me,
right?
Not knowing, reading him until now, but literally the Ainscough family have meshed into us. So Warren, firstly, needs the bat to win it for his lad.
Fair enough.
Will, his lad, needs to win it for himself because Dad buys him second-hand bats.
We know that. He's a tight ass. We all know that.
And then Waz's brother, Daniel, needs a new one because Waz actually burnt it in the deep fry while cooking at Unley Cricket Club.
Is that right? Okay, so 3 entries there into the Willow Talk, but I'm not sure any of them are eligible, are they?
Anything to do with me, they have 0 chance. Bar probably Will. Will probably deserves it for putting up with Waz as his dad, to be honest.
Throw him into the mix.
He's in the mix for me.
Custom-made bat for Matt McCleary, the Bat Doctor. So you've got any stories about your bats that you'd like to throw in?
No, there's far too many of them. I know that. Yep. There's still a few just in the closet just waiting to be brought out. But once you have a favourite bat, you don't let it go for a while, do you, until it does break.
Yeah, fair enough. But if it does, take it down to the Bat Doctor. He'll look after you.
Yeah, that's good. And obviously, keep sending him in through to the straightbat1932@gmail.com.
Fantastic. We'll take a quick break on the Straight Bat. Welcome back to Straight Bat, proudly sponsored by the Arkabar Hotel. We're going to whip into the tips for round 9, but first of all, we've got to update the tally. So I believe, Travis, you've audited Davis' tips and you're happy with what he's come up with?
Well, I'm not sure I'm happy with it, but Woz is 33 and last.
Well, we believe that.
Second last, Raj on 36. The guest 37 and EO on 40.
He seems to be getting further and further
What I want to know, who's actually counting these tips? Because there's only one person that's doing it, and
exactly
it's me and my right.
Exactly right. So
keep a copy of all the tips, guys. Anyone want to come down the office?
Please email them into me, please. I'll check them over.
He's got inside knowledge and he's collating the results. So it's no surprise he's wearing the yellow cap.
Yes.
But we'll see what we've got this week. So it's a good round of games, kicking off Flinders Park versus Grange at Flinders Park. David?
I've gone for Grange. Woz has gone for Grange as well.
I've also gone for Grange.
Yep, Grange I think as well. Hope Valley versus Goodwood, interesting game.
Yes, I've gone for Goodwood. One's the same, Goodwood.
Goodwood as well.
Agreed. Marion versus Paraka at Marion.
Yep, both also gone for Paraka.
Paraka as well, the away teams.
Yeah, I think Paraka as well. And you boys are hosting Woody South, David. Seeing an upset there?
No, Para Hills, both Wazza and me are going Para Hills.
Has Was definitely gone for him?
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
You're in trouble then.
Yeah, I'll go Para Hills as well.
I will as well. The only thing that could get you beat is you being on this show.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens there. Port Districts had a good win last week, taking on Ingle Farm.
Yeah, I've gone for Port Districts. And Warren's gone for Ingle Farm.
Okay.
I've actually gone Ingle Farm, where they match up quite well against them.
Okay, I've gone for Port District. So, yep, we're split on that one. And Trinity versus Old Scotch, according to Woz, a 60K road trip. So Old Scotch might get lost on the way down there, but can they get the points?
I think Trinity will win this one.
Okay.
And Warren's gone for Old Scotch.
Right.
How are you top? Old Scotch for mine.
You're going Old Scotch, right? I'm going Trinity as well. Okay, we'll whip into A2 round 9. Brighton hosting PAC. Big game, David. Who do you like?
Yeah, I've gone for Brighton and Woz has gone for PAC.
Oh, I've gone also Brighton.
Okay, I'll go for PAC. Jeps Cross versus Golden Grove, David.
I'm going for Golden Grove. Woz has gone Jeps Cross.
Jeps Cross for mine.
I'm with Golden Grove. Goodwood hosting Adelaide Lions.
Yes, I think Adelaide Lions there for me and Wazza as well.
Yep, Lions.
Yeah, I'm with the Lions as well. Ross Trevor, big road trip here for Ranella, but interesting game, David.
Yes, I've gone Ross Trevor and Warren's gone Ranella.
Ross Trevor for mine.
I've gone for Ranella. Unley versus Spock. Unley coming off a very disappointing performance. Has Woz gone with them or not?
Yes, Woz definitely gone with them. I don't know what he's thinking there, but I've gone for Spock. They're travelling well.
He's last for a reason. He keeps bent with his heart. Yep. Spock so easily, it's not funny.
Yeah, I think Spock as well. You're saying that you think they're a side that could get back to A1?
Yeah, I think they've got the team to do it. It's just a matter of time getting everyone on park. I know they missed a lot of cricket for various reasons at college teams. So
could come home strong. And Walkerville hosting Woodville Recabite. It's a disgraceful performance last week, David. Are you going to be at training Thursday night? Giving out some tips?
No, I don't go to training Thursday night.
Maybe you should.
I'll be there Tuesday night.
Okay.
But I've gone for Walkerville. I can't possibly go for Recabites on their performance last week, and Woz has gone Walkerville as well.
Yeah, clean sweep, Walkerville.
Yeah, I think Walkerville as well. So that's our tips for this week, and hopefully you're not 10 ahead next week, or we'll be asking some questions, David. Some very stern questions.
No problems at all.
We're just about out on straight bat, but now the stand of jokes has also been the cause of many complaints. To straightbat1932@gmail.com. So we thought we'd try and up the ante with yourself. Have you got something good for us?
Oh, I'm not sure if it's any good, but we'll give it a go. I was actually I was having a beer with my neighbour the other night, and he's got a couple of young kids.
Yep, Wordsworth Wit, we're calling it.
Wordsworth Wit. Yep. I do like that actually. So we're having a beer out the front, and he's got a couple of obviously teenage kids, and we could hear some noises coming out of their bedroom. So he thought, I'll go walk up and have a listen. And it sounded like he was watching porn, his son. So he knocks on the door and he goes, "Son, are you watching porn?" He goes, "Yes, Dad, I am." And he goes, "Look here, son, if you watch too much of that, you'll go blind." He goes, Dad, I'm over here, mate."
I laughed. David looks worried, but I think we'll be right.
And we said porn. I thought, where's he going here?
We actually did get one emailed in to straightbat1932@gmail.com. I think it was from someone at Grange. So the question was, who started making Victoria bitter in 2020?
I'm not sure.
No. Daniel Andrews, that was the answer. So not
Yeah,
bad.
It's not bad, that one.
So
Not bad at all.
I think the standard's definitely lifted from was. So, but that just about takes us out for Straight Bat. Now, David, you're going to have some tough selection decisions next week. I thought very good debut was co-host by Trav. So is Woz going to make his way back into the 11?
I'll have another chat to him and see
have a selection meeting and see what happens.
He actually sent me a text as well in a group chat that you're not in, and he's done for your head now.
I know. No, he did tell me that. He did tell me that. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what the selects have to say.
Correct.
And the ratings could speak for themselves as well. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of views down at Parahills and Grange.
Men are the people.
Straight Bat will be back in a couple of weeks. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, Trav. Thanks, David. Thanks very much to Chad Sayers. Thanks to the Arca Bar Hotel and all our sponsors. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you then.